I sit at the edge of my parents' polished oak table, smoothing out the wrinkles on my plain black dress. It cost more than I should have spent. But tonight, I needed it as a shield of dignity. Crystal glasses glitter under the chandelier's glow as my father pours wine that likely equals my weekly grocery budget. To Sam's incredible victory, Dad announces, lifting his glass toward my sister. The youngest attorney in the firm's history to win a case of this scale. Sam beams as Mom squeezes her hand. We always knew you were destined for greatness. Sam lowers her eyes with modesty, her perfectly styled hair falling in place. It was just good preparation, she says softly. And natural talent, Mom adds quickly. Don't hide your gifts. I take a sip of water, steadying myself. The article mentioned how you connected with the jury. That kind of emotional intelligence is rare. Did you tell them about the judge's comments? Dad interrupts, not even glancing at me. Samantha, share what he said afterward. My words dissolve into silence. I've lived this scene many times. Sam shining while I fade into the background. I focus on my breathing, on the weight of the fork in my hand, anything to steady myself as the conversation moves past me. Kylie. Pass the potatoes, Mom says. Her first words to me in nearly 20 minutes. I hand them over, then try again. My department is introducing a new compliance system that I helped design. Did I mention Sam's firm is considering her for junior partner? Mom interrupts, her voice full of pride. At 32, can you believe it? My chest tightens. I'm 29, just 3 years younger than Sam. Yet to them, I always seem years behind. Then Mom turns to me with that familiar look. The one that signals advice about my life. You know, if you finished your MBA instead of just stopping at your bachelor's, you might be further along by now. The MBA I postponed after their desperate call about the foreclosure. The degree sitting in my someday folder while my savings drain month after month. I'm doing fine, I answer quietly. Mom sighs, exchanging glances with Dad. Fine isn't exceptional, is it? She sets down her fork carefully. Honestly, Kylie, you're not even half the woman your sister is. The dining room falls silent. Even the old clock on the mantel seems to stop ticking. My hand trembles around my water glass, ripples forming across the surface. The words hit me like a strike to the chest, leaving me breathless. Then something shifts inside me. 4 years of silence. 4 years of sacrifice. 4 years of being unseen. Then let her pay the mortgage for this house, I say quietly. Dad's fork clatters to his plate. Mortgage? What mortgage? Sam freezes, her glass halfway to her lips, eyes uncertain. Mom's face drains of color. Kylie, this isn't dinner conversation. Who wants dessert? I made apple pie. No. My voice is steady, stronger than I expected. I pull my phone from my purse, fingers trembling as I open my banking app. What are you talking about? Dad stammers, his confidence cracking. We refinanced years ago. I scroll to the first payment from 4 years ago and turn the screen toward them. February 15th, 2021, $2,500, to stop foreclosure. You said just once, Mom stands abruptly. This is nonsense. I'll get dessert. March, April. May, I continue. Scrolling through the record. For 4 years, every month between $1,200 and $2,400, depending on your latest crisis. Dad's jaw tightens. We had temporary setbacks in the business. You know that, temporary? 4 years isn't temporary. I turn to Sam, whose shock is shifting to disbelief. Did you know? Did you know that while you bought your condo and climbed your career, I was keeping our parents in their house? Sam shakes her head slowly. They told me they were helping you, that you were struggling. A bitter laugh escapes me. Is that what they said? A daughter supports her family, Mom whispers tearfully as she returns empty-handed. Family comes first, always. That's what they told me over and over, but am I really family to them? Or just an ATM? A backup plan. The safety net they never openly admitted I was. The truth strikes me with painful clarity. All those years of trying to prove myself, of accepting less, of shrinking who I was just to fit into the role they assigned me, what was it all for? So they could take everything I had while celebrating my sister's accomplishments, achievements that were only possible because of the sacrifices I made? Sam gently sets her glass down. How much, Kylie? Total? I meet her eyes firmly. $84,000. Dad nearly chokes on his wine. That's absurd. But the doubt in his voice betrays him. He knows. They all know. My down payment for a house, I continue, my voice steadier than I feel. My MBA, my future. The dining room falls silent, but this silence feels different. Weighted with truth, heavy with secrets finally uncovered. And beneath the anger and hurt, something else stirs inside me. Freedom. That night, back at my apartment, the memories come rushing back. The phone call, 11:37 p.m. on a Tuesday. I almost ignored it, already half asleep beneath my cheap IKEA comforter, but something, instinct or anxiety, made me answer. Kylie? My mother's voice cracked on my name, thick with tears. I didn't know who else to call. I sat up, suddenly alert. What happened? Is someone hurt? The house. A muffled sob. We're going to lose the house. The next minutes blurred as she explained. Missed mortgage payments, Dad's struggling architectural business, the foreclosure notice. Words like 30 days and auction steps broke through her crying. How much? I asked, already opening my laptop, pulling up my bank account. The screen glared in the dark, showing the savings I'd built with 3 years of overtime and packed lunches. My down payment for a modest condo in Denver, $2,500, she whispered, just to stop the foreclosure. Charles swears the Brewster contract is coming through next month. Honey, I wouldn't ask, but we have no one else. I hesitated. That house had been ours for 30 years. My childhood room with the window seat. The oak tree I fell from at 8. The dining table where we gathered every Sunday. Just this once, Mom promised. Your father is ashamed I even called. We'll pay you back as soon as his commission clears. My finger clicked the transfer. $2,500 disappeared instantly. Thank you, sweetheart, Mom breathed, her voice lighter now. We raised such a good daughter. Dad got on the line briefly. Won't happen again, Kylie Bear. Just a tough month. His voice carried that same hollow optimism I remembered from childhood. Promised trips to the zoo canceled. Christmas gifts that never came. I stared at my account balance long after we hung up. The emptiness in my chest had nothing to do with hunger. Just this once. 3 weeks later, Mom called again. The bank made an error processing the payment, she said, her voice no longer desperate, but expectant. Just $200 this time. I transferred the money. A month later, another excuse. Your father's client is late paying, but the business will recover. Another transfer. By the 6th month, I stopped waiting for their stories to change. I stopped expecting repayment. I set up an automatic transfer, $2,500 monthly, straight to their mortgage company. It was easier than the calls, easier than hearing the same gratitude and the same broken promises. Then one afternoon, during my lunch break at work, my email notification pinged. Downtown Denver condo presale opportunity. I opened it and scrolled through images of the starter home I'd been saving for. Perfect location, within my budget, available with just 10% down. I checked my savings account. After 6 months of transfers, I'm back to where I was 3 years ago. The condo units sell out in just 48 hours. That same night, I defer my MBA acceptance for the 2nd time. Financial circumstances, I write on the form. The university assures me they'll hold my spot for 1 more year. After that, I'll have to reapply. I create a spreadsheet, columns for dates, amounts, and running totals. A separate tab lists the opportunities I've turned down: condo, education, the trip to Spain for my college roommate's wedding. My stomach tightens as the numbers grow. 6 months becomes a year. A year becomes 2. During lunch, I microwave ramen noodles in the office kitchen. My phone buzzes with an Instagram notification. Mom at Marcello's, the upscale Italian restaurant downtown. Captioned, Anniversary dinner. Blessed. Dad's new golf clubs lean against their dining room wall in the background of another photo the following week. Can't make it this weekend. I text my friends who are planning a short camping trip. Tight on cash this month. My 3rd excuse this summer. Eventually, they stop asking. The credit card application rejection arrives by email. Insufficient credit history and income-to-debt ratio does not meet our requirements. That same day, Sam posts photos of her condo closing. Homeowner at last, adulting. The comments overflow with congratulations. Your sister always had such a good head on her shoulders. Mom tells me at Easter dinner. I sit quietly, calculating how many more months of payments until I can restart my MBA fund. Financial independence is a sign of maturity. she adds. I nod, swallowing both the irony and the instant mashed potatoes. At the office holiday party, Jessica from accounting slides into the chair beside me. You okay? You've been bringing your lunch for months. Her eyes, kind behind tortoiseshell glasses, show concern rather than pity. Just saving, I say. The lie automatic by now? She studies me over her glass of cheap Chardonnay. For what exactly? Because you never actually seem to buy anything. Something in her direct gaze breaks my defenses. Over after-work coffee that turns into dinner. The story spills out. 4 years, $84,000, the endless cycle of obligation. Jessica sets down her mug with a decisive click. Kylie, you can't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. They're my parents, I say, but the words lack conviction. And you're their daughter, not their bank. She pulls a napkin toward her and uncaps a pen. Let's do some math. We calculate the real cost, not just dollars, but lost compound interest, delayed career growth, missed retirement contributions. The final sum makes my hands shake. They wouldn't understand, I whisper. Maybe not, Jessica agrees. But do you understand what you're giving up? That night, I stare at my bank app, thumb hovering over the automatic transfer. 4 years, $84,000. My finger trembles. Not yet ready to press cancel, but for the first time, I can imagine doing it. Just this once, I think. I could skip just this once, see if they notice, see if they care. I press my thumb against the cool glass of my phone screen and close my eyes. When I open them, the transfer confirmation stares back at me. One more month of setting myself on fire. But something has shifted. In the reflection of my darkened phone screen, I see a determination in my eyes that wasn't there before. I don't sleep after that dinner. At 5:48 a.m. on Monday, the bank app glows on my phone screen. My thumb hovers over the cancel automatic transfer button as sunlight begins to peek through my apartment blinds. For 4 years, I've transferred between $200 and $2,400 each month to my parents' account, money that should have built my future $84,000, a down payment on a Denver condo when prices were still reasonable, the MBA I kept deferring, a retirement fund with years of compound interest, all sacrificed to pay a mortgage that isn't mine, for a house I don't live in, owned by people who last night said I wasn't even half the woman my sister is. My finger trembles as I press the button. Are you sure you want to cancel this recurring transfer? Am I? I press confirm. My stomach lurches like I've jumped from a diving board, but instead of water, I'm falling into freedom. The sensation is so unfamiliar, I nearly reach for the trash can beside my bed. But beneath the nausea, something else blooms. Relief so profound my body sags against the headboard. For the first time in 4 years, my next paycheck belongs entirely to me. The first call comes before I finish my morning coffee. Dad's name flashes on my screen. I let it go to voicemail. Kylie. His voice is granite and gravel. What you did last night was inexcusable. We've supported you your entire life, and this is how you repay us? By abandoning your family when we need you most? Call me back. Immediately. I delete the message and block his number. By noon, Mom has left 4 messages, each more tearful than the last. By 3 p.m., I've blocked her too. Sam texts. They say you're punishing them. What's happening? They won't stop calling me, I type back. Ask them about the mortgage payments I've been making for 4 years. 3 dots appear, disappear, reappear. Finally, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. The doorbell rings at 6:14 p.m. through the peephole. I see my mother clutching a photo album to her chest. I press my forehead against the door, willing her to leave. Kylie, sweetheart. I know you're inside. Her voice carries through the door. I brought pictures from when you were small. Remember how we were always there for you? Remember your first ballet recital when you tripped and your father carried you off the stage? What I remember is juggling 3 jobs in college while Sam's tuition was covered in full. What I remember is putting off graduate school to support a temporary financial crisis that stretched for 4 years. I don't open the door. By morning, my aunt in Phoenix calls with concern about my poor parents. My uncle in Michigan emails about family duty. Cousins I barely know suddenly feel the need to check in. The family's coordination is striking. They're skilled, Jessica says over coffee across from our office. She's the first friend I've told the whole truth. I have to admit they've deployed the flying monkeys well. Flying monkeys? Wizard of Oz, The Wicked Witch sends them out to do her bidding. She stirs her latte. Classic manipulation. When direct pressure fails, send others to apply it. I've known Jessica for 3 years, but in that moment, she feels like the first person to truly see me. I made an appointment with a financial advisor, I tell her. Tomorrow morning. She reaches across the table and squeezes my hand. I'm proud of you. The next day, the advisor's office smells of leather and lemon polish. Martha adjusts her glasses, scanning my statements. $84,000 over 4 years. She lowers her tablet. And they never told your sister? Never acknowledged it publicly? No. And you had no legal duty to cover their mortgage? No. Then this is financial exploitation, she says firmly. Family exploitation is still exploitation, Kylie. Hearing it named by someone in authority sends a chill down my spine. Exploited. Not helped. Not supported. Exploited by my own family. Let's design a budget, Martha continues. One that protects your future. When she shows me a projection of where I could be in 5 years without that drain, tears blur my vision. A college fund for future children. Retirement contributions fully matched. A down payment fund that grows instead of shrinking every month. This is what financial health looks like, she says gently. The next morning, I open my first investment account with the $400 I would have sent to my parents. It feels like planting a flag in new territory. This money is mine. This future is mine. That afternoon, I finally register for the graduate course I've deferred 7 semesters. Welcome back, Miss Anderson, the counselor says. We kept your spot. 3 weeks pass. Calls from extended family fade. Sam sends cautious texts that skirt our family's fractured reality. My parents alternate between silence and pressure. I've prepared what I'll say when we finally talk. Jessica helps me shape the words, and I rehearse in the mirror. I love you, but your mortgage is not my responsibility. Simple, direct, unshakable. The knock comes on a Sunday evening. As I'm reviewing case studies for class, I don't need to check the peephole. 3 sharp raps, my father's rhythm. I open the door to both of them. Mom's eyes are red. Dad's jaw is tight, as it always was before punishments. This has gone on long enough, he says, stepping past me. You've made your point. My mother follows, hand reaching for mine. I step back. Your behavior is tearing this family apart, Dad declares, pacing my small living room. Do you know what people are saying? Your Aunt Margaret thinks you're having a breakdown. Charles, Mom murmurs cautiously. No, Elaine. She needs to hear this. He turns to me. You've humiliated us. You've created a crisis over a little financial support, something any daughter would give without question. $84,000 is not a little support, I reply, my voice steadier than my heart. You're killing me with this betrayal, Mom whispers, tears streaming. After all we've done for you, my rehearsed script dissolves. What rises instead is something raw and my own. I love you both, but your mortgage is not my responsibility. It never was, my father's face reddens. So that's it? You're abandoning us? I'm not abandoning you, I answer. I'm ending the abandonment of myself. The words hang heavy, undeniable. 7 minutes later, they leave, Mom sobbing, Dad rigid with anger. As the door shuts, my knees give way. I collapse to the floor, tears breaking from somewhere deep. But beneath the grief runs something unexpected, lightness. As if heavy stones have finally slipped from my pockets after years of carrying their weight. That night, I sleep 8 straight hours for the first time in 4 years. In the morning, I stand at my window as sunlight spreads over Denver. The city looks both familiar and new, a place of possibilities instead of obligations. For the first time since that late-night call 4 years ago, when my parents' crisis became my burden, I feel the shape of my own life forming. I am not half of anyone. I am whole. I wake to sunlight through curtains I chose. 6 months ago, I would have opened my bank app immediately, calculating coffee money after the transfer to my parents. Today, I stretch into the morning and smile at the ceiling. My ceiling. My rules, my money. Yesterday afternoon, the promotion notice appeared in my inbox. Project Team Lead. The words still feel surreal. Your dedication and analytical thinking make you the ideal candidate, my boss had said. Meeting my eyes? The entire department recognizes your contributions, Kylie. Recognition. The word settles in my chest like a warm stone. I lace up my running shoes and head out for my morning jog, nodding at Mrs. Winters as she walks her corgi. She waves enthusiastically. Big day for your Italian cooking class, right? The final dinner. Lasagna from scratch, I call back. I'll bring you leftovers. 6 months ago, I wouldn't have known my neighbor's name, joined a community class, or afforded ingredients beyond ramen and peanut butter. My phone vibrates in my pocket. Jessica from work. The hiking group's meeting at Boulder Creek Saturday, she says. You in? Absolutely, I reply, thinking of the new boots I bought last month. The Rockies have become my refuge, their vastness putting my family drama into perspective. Last weekend, I stood on a summit and shouted into the wind until my throat burned and something within me eased. When I returned to my apartment, an official-looking envelope waited in my mailbox. I opened it right there in the lobby. Heart pounding. Dear Miss Anderson, we are pleased to inform you of your acceptance. I pressed the letter to my chest, eyes blurring. The graduate program, the one I deferred 4 years ago after that desperate call from my parents. My phone rings again. Aunt Gloria this time, your father asked. Me to call you, she begins gently. The doctor's worried about his blood pressure and the stress over possible foreclosure. The mortgage is current through next month, I interrupt, having already checked their account online. I'm sorry about his health, but I can't help anymore. Aunt Gloria sighs. He thinks there's a misunderstanding about family obligations. No misunderstanding, I reply firmly. I love you, Aunt Gloria. Tell Dad I wish him well. I hang up and scroll Facebook. Mom's latest post tops my feed. Heartbroken when children abandon parents who sacrificed everything. Family should be forever. 17 sympathetic comments from relatives who don't know the truth. I close the app without replying and open my email. Sam has sent a cautious message. They're saying worrying things about money. Are they really facing foreclosure? I'm confused, I type back. They have options they're unwilling to take. I'll explain everything if you want my side. Before second-guessing, I send the email and head to the shower. Work awaits. And today I'm leading the morning briefing on our new compliance system, my system. The room falls silent when I enter. 6 months ago, I'd have assumed it was rejection. Today, I know it's respect. The implementation numbers are impressive, says Thomas, our director. Kylie's design reduced processing time by 32%. My colleagues applaud. Not polite claps, but genuine appreciation. I stand taller and begin my presentation with a confidence I wouldn't have recognized before. That afternoon, my desk phone rings with an unfamiliar number. Kylie Anderson? This is Marissa Johnson with Parker Executive Search. I'm calling about a director position in Seattle. I nearly dropped the phone. I'm sorry? Your name was recommended by someone impressed with your compliance system. The position is with Westlake Financial Technologies. Would you like to discuss it? My mouth goes dry. Seattle? 45% salary increase from your current role. Plus equity. I jot down the number, promise to call back, and sit stunned at my desk. Seattle. 3 states away from the gravitational pull of family obligation. A director role skipping 2 management levels. That evening, I open my laptop and request a virtual tour of Seattle. Apartments. The realtor shows me a 14th floor unit with floor-to-ceiling windows and the Space Needle gleaming in the distance. What's the price range? I ask cautiously. She names a figure that 6 months ago would have been out of reach. But now, without mortgage payments draining my account, I pull up a spreadsheet and calculate. 2 years of the Seattle salary would equal 4 years of what I paid toward my parents' mortgage. The phone rings. Sam. I talked to Dad, she says. He admitted everything. 4 years of you paying their mortgage while they told me you were struggling and they were helping you. Her voice cracks. They took advantage of you, Kylie. I'm so sorry I didn't see it. Something shifts inside me, the last piece of a puzzle clicking into place. It isn't your fault. Are you really thinking about Seattle? She asks. Mom and Dad heard from someone else. They're upset you didn't tell them first. I give a small laugh. Seattle feels right. I'm ready for something larger than myself. That weekend, I start packing my apartment in Denver. Each item faces a simple question. Does this support my future or tie me to the past? The donation pile grows larger than the one I'm keeping. My phone buzzes. A message from the Seattle company. The contract is ready for my e-signature. Day 1 benefits and relocation help are included. I glance around my half-packed apartment, at the graduate program acceptance letter on the fridge, at the hiking boots by the door. For the first time as an adult, everything I own reflects choices I made for myself. I sign the contract. A month later, I stand at the wide window of my Seattle condo, watching dawn cast Mount Rainier in amber and rose. 14 floors above the city, I've created a life where I matter, where my voice holds weight. My phone buzzes on the granite counter, another text from Mom about how they're coping without my support. I ignore it, sipping coffee more expensive than I would have allowed in Denver. Small comforts no longer bring guilt. The second buzz isn't from my parents. It's Grace, my former neighbor in Denver. Thought you should see this. Sorry, I tap the attachment. The image loads slowly, pixel by pixel, as if my phone wants to shield me from it. A vinyl banner stretches across my parents' Tudor-style house. Congratulations. Sam for saving the family home. My coffee cup crashes to the hardwood. Hot liquid splashes my feet, but I barely notice. My chest tightens as though squeezed. 4 years, I whisper to the empty room. $84,000. I sink to the floor, ceramic shards pressing into my palms, not from weakness this time, but from anger so sharp it needs a physical anchor. They've erased me. Worse, they've rewritten history. When my breathing steadies, I open my laptop and check my banking app. 4 years of statements. 4 years of transfers, texts from Mom with endless versions of just this once and we'll pay you back soon. I find the folder labeled family and extract every plea. Dad's business troubles. Mom's medical bills insurance wouldn't cover. The roof, the plumbing, the overdue taxes. The printer hums as I build a paper trail of their deception. While it works, I forward each piece to my personal email, then to a separate account made for this purpose, a digital record of years of manipulation. My phone rings. Sam's name appears. Have you seen it? She asks immediately. The banner? Yes. Kylie, I swear I had nothing to do with this. They told everyone at church I've been paying their mortgage since you left. I laugh, a hollow sound in my expensive condo. Of course they did. There's more, Sam says quietly. They're holding a family appreciation dinner next weekend to honor my sacrifice. The formal invitation lands in my email that afternoon. Cream-colored electronic stationery with flowing script. Join us in celebrating Samantha's selfless dedication to family values. Mom's voicemail follows. We hope you can set aside our differences to celebrate your sister. Family should support each other in times of recognition. Family should support each other in times of recognition. I trace the date. Next Saturday. I could book a flight. I should book a flight. I call Jessica, the former coworker who first helped me see the pattern. They're crediting Sam with paying their mortgage, I tell her, my voice steady. They're throwing her a party for what I did for 4 years. Jessica's silence speaks volumes before she asks, "What are you going to do?" I'm going to Denver. To confront them? No, I say, opening my laptop. To tell the truth. Saturday evening, I stand on the familiar porch. Inside, voices mix with classical music. Dad's carefully curated playlist. I'm wearing a tailored charcoal suit costing more than 3 months of my old wardrobe. My power armor. The folder under my arm holds every record, printed twice. My laptop bag carries a flash drive with a detailed presentation. Sam opens the door before I knock. You came, she whispers. Did you think I wouldn't? She steps aside, showing the transformed living room. Flowers they can't afford. Catering from the pricey downtown place. A projector displaying a slideshow titled, The Anderson Family Legacy of Support. Mom spots me first. Her champagne glass freezes midair. Kylie, what a surprise, she says. Her voice bright with forced cheer. We weren't sure you'd make it with your busy new life. Dad turns, his practiced smile slipping. Pumpkin, come in, come in. We're just about to toast your sister's generosity. The room falls silent as I walk to the projector. Aunts, uncles, cousins, church friends watch as I set my folder down. May I add something to the presentation? I ask, my voice carrying across the room. Dad hesitates, then nods confidently. Of course. Our younger daughter wants to honor her sister too. How wonderful. I connect my laptop to the cable, replacing their slideshow with mine. The title appears, Ta Months. $84,000, Kylie. What's this? Mom asks sharply. The truth? I answer. The first slide shows a spreadsheet, dates, amounts, account numbers partly hidden, transaction notes telling their own story, emergency transfer to parents, mortgage payment, property tax, insurance premium. I don't think this is appropriate dinner conversation, Mom interjects, moving toward the projector. Neither is lying to your entire social circle, I reply. Clicking to the next slide, text messages enlarge on the screen. Mom, Kylie, we're desperate. Just this once. The bank is threatening foreclosure. Mom, your father's business will recover soon. Just help us through this month, Mom. Family comes first, always. We'd do the same for you, murmurs ripple through the guests. Aunt Martha covers her mouth. Uncle Pete shifts uncomfortably. You're humiliating us, Dad hisses, his face red. I meet his gaze. If the truth embarrasses you, that's not my fault. The next slide contrasts Dad's business expense reports with their credit card bills, golf club memberships, weekend trips, restaurant tabs larger than my monthly grocery bill. Stop this now, Mom demands, her voice cracking, but I continue, slide after slide, showing how I funded their lifestyle while they displayed Sam as the successful daughter and dismissed me. Sam stands frozen, realizing the scale of deception, not only against me, but against her too, used as their golden child while I was their ATM. When the final slide appears, the banner photo with the truth written across it, the room is silent. $84,000, I say quietly. My down payment. My MBA. My future. Aunt Judith, Dad's eldest sister, rises slowly. For a moment, I think she'll defend them. She always has. Instead, she begins to clap. Slow, deliberate claps echo in the silence. It's about time someone told the truth in this family, she says, her voice carrying decades. Two cousins nod, recognition in their eyes. The pattern isn't new, just finally exposed. Mom makes one last attempt. Family matters should stay private, Kylie. This is inappropriate. Private like the banner on your house? I ask. Sam moves then, crossing the room to stand beside me. She says nothing. She doesn't need to. Her presence beside me says more than words. For the first time, we stand before our parents as a united front, the golden child and the invisible one, together in truth. And in that moment, I feel the last chains of obligation fall away. 6 months after that confrontation, Seattle's morning light pours through floor-to-ceiling windows as I stir honey into my tea. Sam sits across from me at a corner cafe, her lawyer's posture finally at ease, hair tied back in a plain ponytail instead of her usual perfect blowout. I still can't believe they showed up with papers to add your name to the deed, Sam says, shaking her head. After everything, I smile, watching ferry boats cross Elliott Bay. Their version of an apology, I suppose. And you turned it down. Not a question, but a statement. I already own my home, I say, nodding toward the high-rise visible from our window. What I need is respect, not just a name on a document. 6 months since truth cracked the foundation of our family. 6 months of rebuilding, not the old structure, but something honest and new. My phone buzzes with a newsletter notification. Anderson team wins Innovation Award for Compliance Solution. My team. My leadership. Sam catches my smile. Another win? I show her the screen. Vice President looks good before my name, doesn't it? Better than secret mortgage payer. She reaches for my hand and squeezes. You're speaking at that finance conference, right? Ethical leadership panel? I laugh softly. Apparently standing up to exploitation makes me an expert now. That evening, I lace up hiking boots as 3 friends wait by the door. No more excuses about tight budgets, no silent calculations about gas money. Just 4 women heading to Mount Rainier to see the wildflowers. Rachel asked about you again? Tina teases as we drive, raising her eyebrows. Heat crawls up my neck, not from shame but possibility. Dating without financial fear feels like breathing free air. On Tuesday, I stood before 20 young women at a community center workshop on financial literacy. Boundaries aren't selfish, I told them, voice steady with lessons hard-earned. They're the base of healthy relationships. A girl in the back raised her hand. But what if it's family? Especially then, I answered, meeting her eyes. When Sam visits in August, we cook pasta in my kitchen, tomato sauce bubbling as Sinatra plays. Mom would have hovered, critiquing everything. But tonight, there's only laughter when Sam spills wine across the counter. Remember when Mom measured the pasta portions? Sam asks, twirling noodles. 2 ounces for you, 3 for Dad, 1 for me because actresses need to stay slim. And now look at us, I say, pointing to our full plates. Rebels with carbs. We talk late into the night about childhood patterns we never questioned and about choices we're making now. I've been thinking about a real vacation, Sam says. Not business disguised as rest. Just joy. Where would you go? I ask we, she corrects. Where would we go, just sisters? My throat tightens unexpectedly. A year later, I open an account for my niece's education, not from pressure, but from choice. At the community center, my workshop has doubled in size. Boundaries aren't rejection, I explain. They're respect, for yourself and for the relationships you bring your full, healthy self into. In my journal, I write at the top of a clean page, Year 1 of my authentic life. Below it, not goals or plans, but truths. That worth isn't measured by sacrifice. That love without respect is just use. That starting over at 30 is not failure, it's courage. Evening settles as I stand on my balcony, watching the Olympic mountains turn gold, then purple, then blue. No phone buzzing with demands. No silent math about what's left in my account, just this moment. Just me, finally home in my own life.